What rises after the weeping ends, but the fire in your chest still flickers? What echoes beneath your ribs when the tears have dried, but your fists tremble anyway? It isn't sorrow anymore. It isn't confusion. It's rage. Sacred, ancient, undeniable. Not the kind that screams for attention, but the kind that speaks only when silence has overstayed its welcome. It rises like prophecy. It arrives like memory. Because you weren't made to stay quiet where you were meant to burn. Let me ask you something real. What happens after the breakdown? After the funeral? After the old you dies quietly in your chest? What happens when the grief fades and something hotter rises in its place? This is Empowered Shadows, and tonight we are not suppressing what wants to burn. We're listening to the fire. Because now that you know the truth, you can't unknow it, and your body is done pretending it didn't feel the betrayal. Sacred rage is a memory your body keeps. Sacred rage is not chaos. It's not destruction. It's not you losing control. It's your body remembering every time you were too afraid to scream, too ashamed to speak, too silent to say no. It's your spine rising when your mouth still trembles. It's the heat in your chest when your hands try to stay still. It's truth coming back through the blood. You've spent your life learning how to stay soft, even when you were breaking. You called it grace. You called it maturity. You called it divine. But some things are holy because they burn. And this rage, it is not a flaw, it is a funeral for everything you've buried to be loved. The unseen wounds that built the fire. This rage you're feeling, it didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't show up because you're dramatic, difficult, or unstable. It was built. Built through every "I'm fine" that wasn't true. Built through every moment you smiled while shrinking. Built through years of holding your breath so someone else could feel comfortable. Rage was never your default. It was your body's final language after every softer version of you was ignored. You didn't wake up angry. You were shaped by betrayal, programmed for peacekeeping, taught to perform okayness even while dying inside. And this moment, this fire, that fire, it is not a glitch. It is the truth finally arriving. The breaking point isn't the beginning, it's the evidence. The day you snapped wasn't the start of the problem. It was the receipt. It was the body keeping score. The soul finally erupting after being dismissed too long. You weren't overreacting, you were overflowing. Because every time you ignored your gut, you taught your nervous system that truth wasn't safe. Every time you called it forgiveness when it was really avoidance, your rage curled inward and waited to be seen. Now it's here. Now it's loud. And you don't need to silence it. You need to ask it what it came to reveal. Sacred rage is the language of your inner oracle. Rage is not chaos. It's code. A message from the deepest part of you. The part that's been watching everything you tolerated, everything you spiritualized, everything you called growth when it was really self-abandonment. Rage is where your intuition gets loud. It's where your silence cracks open. It's where the truth refuses to stay nice. It's not here to make you bitter. It's here to make you see. When you stop calling your rage a problem, you start hearing it as prophecy. A prophecy, it says, this is your limit. This is where they lost access. This is not your home anymore. This is the moment you stop folding to be forgiven. Sacred rage isn't just release, it's redirection. It's the force that snatches you out of soul contracts you never agreed to. The voice that says, you forgot who you are. Let me remind you. Let it speak, not for destruction, but for alignment. Not for war, but for liberation. Because when you listen to sacred rage, you're not just feeling, you're remembering. How to hold fire without burning the whole house down. When sacred rage floods your chest, you don't need a journal. You need a lifeline. Something to hold on to while your body remembers every time you were silenced, dismissed, humiliated, or made to feel like a threat for simply feeling. This is not about calming down. It's about coming back. Back into your body, back into the moment, back into the power that doesn't have to destroy to be real. Start with the breath, but not the quiet kind, the loud, guttural exhale. Let it rip out of your mouth like it's been waiting decades. Stomp your feet. Press your hands into a wall, scream into the water, run cold water over your arms, sit on the floor, yell your own name like a prayer. Let your body move the rage without making anyone else your altar. This is how you hold fire without setting the room on fire. You are not wrong for feeling this. You are not dangerous. You are not losing it. You're unlearning suppression. You're returning to the body. You're reclaiming your fire without letting it steal your future. This is how sacred becomes sustainable. The woman rage revealed. When the rage subsides, when the shaking stills, when your voice no longer trembles, you'll look around and realize you're still here, not scorched, not broken, but unmasked. And standing there, in the stillness that follows the storm, is a version of you you've never fully seen. The one who said enough, the one who stopped shrinking, the one who walked herself out of emotional exile. She didn't come from rage. She was revealed by it. She's not new. She's been waiting beneath every apology you didn't owe, beneath every "I'm fine" you force yourself to say, beneath every place you try to be digestible instead of divine. And now she's here, clear, calm, unshakable. Not because she's healed all the way, but because she no longer tries to hide. This is the woman sacred rage delivers, not the one who explodes, the one who refuses to abandon herself ever again. Look her in the eyes. She is not your temper. She is your truth. Let her stay. The sovereign that survived the fire. Now that you've met her, the version of you who does not flinch, does not beg, does not betray herself to be understood, don't abandon her. She is not a phase. She is not a reaction. She is your arrival. She isn't here to be more likable. She's here to be undeniable. This is what sacred rage refines. Not chaos, but clarity. Not rebellion, but rebirth. You didn't lose control. You reclaimed it. And the next time that fire rises, you'll know you've already met the woman who can hold it. You didn't burn it all down. You burned through the illusion. You didn't lose your mind. You reclaimed your memory. This wasn't a breakdown. This was the first moment you stopped calling pain peace and silence healing. The rage didn't ruin you. It revealed you. And the version of you standing here now, she is not soft by force. She is not small out of fear. She is still because she is no longer shaking. She is the self who doesn't explain her fire. She walks in it. She leads from it. She knows it's sacred because it never lied to her. This isn't your shame. This is your sovereign born. You've met her. You've heard her. Now let her lead. This is what it means to walk in your rage without burning your future. This is Empowered Shadows. Thank you for listening.